I have absolutely no idea what angle this is on or even if it's going to work, but we're going to give it a crack. Let's see how many people I annoy with this video. Hello everyone, welcome back to A Fictional Escapist. My name is Kris, and today's video is a little bit different. So I put a poll up on my Instagram a little while ago saying if people wanted me to either talk about things that book people love that I don't care about, or things that book lovers hate that don't bother me, and y'all chose violence. So we went with things that book lovers hate that don't bother me so much. And I thought rather than combing through hundreds of videos of the same thing, I would go to the one source of all correct knowledge, BuzzFeed, and have a look at their list of the 26 worst things that can happen to a book lover, and then tell you if I care about them or not. So a little bit of different content, I guess, for me, but let me know if you like this kind of thing. I thought it might be fun to have a look at something as ridiculous as BuzzFeed and see if I agree or disagree with any of these 26 things. So in the interest of keeping this video fairly short, I am going to run through them quickly and just have a look if I care or not. So I'm going to be looking this way. There is a screen capture, so we're just going to, me and technology, who knows if it's going to work, but we're going to give it a red hot crack anyway. I'm currently in my parents' living room. The webcam is shitty quality, which is why we've got the camera up here as well. And we'll see whatever works and whether I just, chuck my face on. Anyway, let's have a look at what BuzzFeed says are the 26 worst things that can happen to a book lover, and just see how many friends I lose along the way. So I think we're recording. Hopefully all this is being recorded and sending to the correct place. Who knows? We'll see. All right, so number one, I'm on the wrong thing already because I can't technology. Let me actually go to the Chrome page. The 26 worst things that can happen to a book lover. Number one, lending a book to a friend and getting it back ruined. I'm going to couple this with question two, which is also lending a book to a friend and not getting it back at all. I am a lender. I will lend you a book, and if you don't give it back, if I like it enough, I'll probably just go and buy it again. I'm not going to, I don't care that much. If I lend a book out, it's probably because I've read it and really want you to enjoy it, or I want you to read it first and tell me whether you think I'll enjoy it, because that is also a thing that happens. I'm just going to turn this camera off because I'm not really using it. I'm using this one, and talking to that one. So let's just get rid of that. Okay, we're on Chrome. So if I lend a book to someone and I get it back ruined, I would probably be like, thank you. And then, depending on how badly ruined it was, I don't mind beat up books. I've just beat up a bit. The spine's broken. I'm not going to care that much. If it's been in the ocean and someone has tried to retrieve it, then they've risked themselves, for a great white shark to get my book back. And I appreciate the sentiment there, but I probably will just chuck it and buy a new copy. And if I don't get it back at all, I'll probably just buy myself a new copy. I'm really not that worried about that sort of thing. Number three, getting on the train and realizing you left your book at home. This is the equivalent. So this does bother me if I've got a long commute. I don't really get on public transport anymore, but when I used to get on public transport and I didn't have my book, that would suck. But now I have Kindle on my phone, so I really have a book wherever I go, and I can read multi-books. So maybe that doesn't annoy me. Let's put that in the don't annoy me pile. And the Twitter from Isaac Fitzgerald says, apologies to everyone on the F train for when I screamed out no. This morning, I just realized I forgot my book. Maybe that's the equivalent of forgetting your headphones in the gym and having to listen to shitty gym music. Number four, losing your book, especially if you're close to finishing it. Okay, that one does bother me. But again, I'd probably just buy the e-copy and finish it. Or the audiobook and finish it. I have multiple copies of books that I really enjoy. In different formats, not different editions or copies. I don't care about that sort of thing. I would buy it again, I guess. Number five, sitting next to someone who keeps talking to you even though you are clearly reading. Okay, BuzzFeed, fine. Also, I'm on the main road, so if the audio is shitty, I apologize. That is annoying. I'm living with my parents right now, and my mother likes to come in 24 times an hour to ask things that don't matter while I'm reading. It's very annoying. Number six, Finding out your favorite book is being turned into a movie and knowing it will probably be terrible. This is something I do not care about. So, adaptations, I don't care. I don't care if someone wants to make a movie out of something. Let's just put this up a little bit. I don't care. I do not care if someone wants to make a movie or a TV show out of a source material. I do not get up in arms if the source material is not stuck to. I think adaptations are their own beast, and I think people can just enjoy them for what they are. I do not care. I don't care about that at all. Number 7, realizing the book you've been loving has a crap ending. Who here has read Stephen King? We're used to it. I don't care. As long as I've loved it for a majority of the book, I'm alright, to be honest. Number 8, your favourite character dying. Tom Dumrell, you are not forgiven for book 3 in Pillars of Peace. I also... It's not that I don't care about a favourite character dying. I think that characters who perish, if it has an impact and it's obviously, you know, that storyline or that character has made an impact to your life in some way, shape or form. So if that character dying is just to move along a plot point, for the sake of moving along a plot point, that can be annoying. But if my favourite character is dying and it serves a purpose to the greater story, and I'm left emotionally devastated because of that, it's obviously done for a purpose. You know, it's happened to me a couple of times. There's one series in particular that I can think of that actually made me cry, but I'm not going to tell you the series or the character name because that's like huge spoilers. Number 9, finding out you are carrying your book in the same bag as a leaky water bottle. Megan says, spent the morning blow drying my book. I hate those 78% less plastic water bottles. I don't think this has ever happened to me, but that would be annoying. 10, accidentally dropping your book in the bath or pool or whatever body of water you are lounging and reading in. I was going to say who reads lounging in water, but I have read in the bathtub before, but I've never dropped it before. So this hasn't happened to me. I can't comment on it. That would be annoying, but again, I just buy the book again. Number 11, having your bedside lamp go out when you're already in bed reading. I mean, I think it's funny when that happens and the universe is just like, go to bed, matey. Just go to bed. But also, if I'm in bed, I will generally be reading on a Kindle which has a backlight, so I don't care. 12, hearing someone talk about the ending of a book you just started. I don't really mind spoilers. So personally, I don't go and watch reviews for books that I'm interested in reading because I want to experience it for myself. Because particularly if it's indie, I will review that book as well. And I don't want somebody else's review to come across in my own words. I want to make sure that that review is authentic for me and for the author, that I'm reviewing it as a new voice. But if it's something like a book that I'm on the fence about reading, traditionally published, like Wheel of Time, for example, I don't really mind. I can go into a book still, experiencing that book for what it is, rather than worrying too much about what I've heard. 13, realizing you hate a book 2/3 of the way through, and then struggling through the rest because you won't let it win. I have done that before. I'm not a DNFer. I DNF very rarely. I will normally force myself to get to the end of that book to see if there's any redeeming qualities, or if I'm reviewing that book, if it's an indie book, I want to make sure that I'm giving the audience enough information to see if they want to read it for themselves. I don't know if that bothers me or not. I don't think so. I think it's just I've got to read this book, and then it's a struggle to read it, or get the motivation to read it. 14, realizing your fave is finally falling to pieces because you've read it about 30 times. Realizing your fave is finally falling to pieces. Oh, book. When you read Harry Potter so often it fell apart. Well, we all know how I feel about the author, so don't get for any more money, just use sticky tape, I guess. Buy a new book. If you love it that much, buy it in multiple copies. Have it on file. They're not made like they used to anymore. Doesn't bother me. I'd buy a new book. 15, getting to a cliffhanger right as your work break is ending or your stop is coming up. I love that. This doesn't bother me at all. In fact, I love when it happens because I know the next time that I pick up that book, shit's going down. 16, being asked what your favourite book is as if there's just one. Okay, this one doesn't bother me. Like, it doesn't bother me, but there is not just one. Like, what genre do you want? What tropes are we talking about? Are we talking about YA? Are we talking about adult? Are we talking about, how I felt personally? Are we talking about there's a lot of things to consider with that question. I don't know my favourite book. There's so many. I read so many books a year. How can I pick one? 17, reading a paragraph ahead and spoiling a huge plotline for yourself. If it's only a paragraph, doesn't matter. I don't care. Recommending a book to a friend and they just won't do it. To each their own. Also, don't care. I don't have a lot of friends that are readers, or if I do, they don't read a lot of the same stuff as I do. I have some smut reading friends and I don't particularly enjoy smut. I have fan fiction reading friends and I don't particularly enjoy fan fiction, and smutty fan fiction is the thing that my friend wants me to read that she's written, and I'm like, I will get to that likely never. But also, I don't care. If a friend doesn't want to read the book that I've recommended, that's up to them. They are their own person and that's fine. 19, recommending a book to a friend and finding out they didn't like it. Also fine. People are allowed different opinions. I don't care. Spilling food or drink on the page. If it's my book and I own it, I don't care. If it's somebody else's book, I'll probably buy them a new copy of the book because, it's as if I borrow people's books. I just buy them myself or get them from the library. We have this great library out in Queensland. I don't know whether it's all around Australia, but I know a lot of countries have the Libby app. So we have Libby and we also have something called BorrowBox, in which you can pre-order e-copies of books. So you can, if you're happy to read on your phone, then you can borrow the e-copies. I quite like reading on my phone. I know a lot of people don't like it, but for me, it's, fast, efficient. I can do it during breaks on the workday, quiet times on the workday. My phone's sitting up there, I can just swipe. So we've got, options. 21, rereading a book you used to love and realizing it's not as good as you remember. That does suck. I'm not a huge rereader, and I haven't come across this myself, fortunately, but I am about to reread Dreams of the Dying, or I'm rereading at the time that this video goes out, and I'm a little bit worried because I love it so much. I'm a little bit worried that it won't hold up to, my very high expectations of the book. I 5-starred it when I read it. I'm hoping to 5-star it again on rereading, get some more stuff out of it. We'll see. But yeah, I can imagine that's a bit of a downer, but at least you can look back and think of how much you enjoyed it. Initially, a few people were reading Dragonlance last year before I did my buddy read, and some people said that it just didn't hold up to what they wanted in the series, which, can be disappointing. 22, breaking up with someone and realizing they still have some of your books. I'd just buy them again. That's the theme of this video. Just, if you like them enough, I'll buy them again. If, in some way, shape or form. And, I don't have a huge disposable income at the moment, but I would save up, and if I like them enough, I'd just, get them again. What did happen when my ex and I broke up? So I was with someone for 8 years, and we only lived together for 3 months, where I was like, nah, not happening. There's a long story behind that. We won't get into it today. But she was really into TV shows, and I watched a lot of TV shows with her. Like, I would nap and she would watch TV shows because I cannot binge TV series. I can't do it. I can't sit still for that long. But when we broke up, I ended up giving her all of the TV series, but she took a couple of books in the middle of series, like the evil genius that she was, and I don't know if she even realized that she did it. I mean, my brain says that she did for malicious intent, but I don't know whether that was intentional or not, but I had to go and buy them again, so I don't know, maybe that's just an evil genius move. 23, crushing on someone who ruins it by saying, I only read books by men. Ooh. Well, leave that one alone. 24, moving. I'm moving halfway across I'm moving from one extreme end of the country to the other extreme end of the country. It's a 48-hour drive. It sucks. Packing up your books sucks. Deciding what books to bring here was hard, and I've already bought too many that need to now fit in the car. Spike, I'm packing my books and I already need 5 boxes. I'm not even halfway through my bookshelf. I think I had 23 boxes of books. So in the old house, if you've been following me for a while, you'll know I had 6 bookshelves in the house, and we did a huge unhaul at the end of the lease. So when we came up to the end of the lease, and then I've unhauled some stuff here as well. But yeah, 23, I think, was the number of boxes. They're fairly small boxes. 25, coming to the end of a book you really, really loved. So I've definitely had moments where I put a book down and I've gone, I need a day. Like I can't start a new book today. I now need to ruminate on what I've read, and I'll pick up a new book tomorrow. Sometimes I'll literally finish a book and then, like a physical book, and then pick up my Kindle and start reading on my Kindle. Something else. But I don't have book hangovers and that I can't wait multiple days. But if I finish a really good book, I'm excited for that ending. I'm excited for what happens next. I read fantasy, so a lot of series come up. And if I've got to wait for it, I've got to wait for it, but I'm excited. So that one doesn't really bother me. And the last one that we had is generally just being forced to do anything that isn't reading. I like doing other stuff, and sometimes I can incorporate reading into the other stuff. So that doesn't bother me that much either. So those were 26 of the worst things that can happen to a book lover. I think I titled this video something like things that annoy book people that I don't care about. We learned enough about me during that, this experiment, I think, throughout this entire process. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully I haven't just done false advertising on what I was promising to do in this video. Had a pretty good time. Let me know if you like this format, because I can do other videos like this where I'm looking at articles and talking about them. I used to do that on my old YouTube channel. If you want another list like this where I'm looking at ridiculous things on BuzzFeed and reacting to it, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of watching these type of videos, so I don't know if this is what people want. I am planning on doing a tier ranking video in this format mid-year to talk about ranking the books that I've read for the first half of the year, and then again at the end of the year. But we'll see if, people like this format. Was there anything on this list that really grinds your gears? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like the content, give it one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will. I'll catch you in the next video. Ciao.